Hello everyone. My name is April Kamara. This is your Taurus January 2020 tarot and archetype reading. I wanted to really kind of use the tarot as something to really kind of dive into what your theme of 2020 will be. I like to tell everyone I'm not a tarot reader, so I don't read the tarot as someone who's well versed in the actual meanings. The only tarot deck that I've ever connected with is this Hermetic tarot deck. It's just something that for me, I use to channel messages. I don't know too terribly much about what the actual meaning of the tarot is. Like I said in all my other videos, this is only my second video, so yeah. Every other video that I've done with collective messages, if you've followed my YouTube channel for a while, is I really truly just take what comes to me through spirit. I was a medium first. Tarot was not something that I connected with originally. Just these decks really speak to me and to my intuition, so I use them. If you have a meaning for the card that I pulled that feels like it resonates better with you and your situation, by all means take that. Let's just go ahead and get started. And I like to honestly get started with every single session by just putting our hands on our heart and just setting the intention to take what is meant for us, to leave everything else, and to allow this message to really transform us and to do the best that it can for us. Amen. Like I said, it's a generic tarot reading. This is for you if you have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And we can go ahead and get started. So I'll start with the theme. So I use tarot just to kind of channel a message for the Taurus theme, Sun, Moon, and Rising, for January 2020. We've already been told that astrology is going to be really gray. So I want this to really just give you a beacon of light, something that you can focus on and understand and use to ground this energy. Because if you guys watch, what is it, The Witcher? Is that on Netflix, The Witcher? What they say, your chaos is when you're controlled is magic. So really just help you to align with that this month. So January for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Spirit, what theme are they tackling this month? It's always so fun for me to watch different tarot readers on YouTube. When I saw that I wasn't the only person who cards just flew out of the deck for, I was like, oh my god, that doesn't just happen to me. So I like doing these because for me, mediumship readings are super personal, and they're just it's really hard to pull a mediumship style reading that is I don't know, universal, I guess. I can take universal themes from people's specific readings, but to just do one for you guys, I don't know, I feel the cards is a really good way to kind of bridge that gap, you know? So I feel with mediumship readings, it can be one of those things it really requires trust, you know, to trust someone. And for a group that's as big as any Taurus that's watching this video for this month, that to me is just kind of hard to relate to. So that's why I still stick to my version of channeling, get a lot of stuff claircognizantly and clairaudiently when I'm looking at these. But also just it's nice because I said, if I say something that doesn't make sense to you about a card and you know what that card means to you and that resonates, then you can still take something from the message, you know? And that's what's most important to me, is that everyone leaves here with something to take and integrate. Alright, Taurus, January 2020, what is their one card theme going to be? My son's a Taurus, so it's just oh my god, a whole different level of love that I have for you guys. He's only 2 though, so all of his little Taurus ways, I'm oh my god, this is truly, having kids is truly the way to learn how to love others, I swear. Because you just can't get mad at a kid that you created, and then when you understand their astrology, it's Oh, okay, I understand now. You know that's just you. Come on, Taurus, January 2020. I'm like talking about how everyone gets a card flying out the deck. I'm like, where's my card? Come on, Spirit, where's my card? If YouTube doesn't work for me, maybe one day I'll go into comedy. Who knows? Maybe I'll like practice some jokes on you guys while I wait for these cards to shuffle. Come on, Taurus, January 2020. Okay, so you got two cards that came out, but I just like to take the first one that comes up, and it's the King of Cups, like the Prince of the Chariot of Waters, which to me, as like a Taurus, like Sun, Moon, or Rising, this makes a lot of sense. Just because I've seen it in my Sun this month. It's this like, it's this really challenging energy, right? Like this energy of like, I'm a man and like, you know, I have my way, I want my way. Yet this man is having to do everything standing over water. You know what I mean? So it's like he's really facing his emotions head on and having to, you know, his cup is empty, but he has a lotus flower in the right hand. There's the sign of Libra, the sign of Scorpio twice, right, over this like bird that's over his head. And then he's just like looking at this snake in the eye. And to me, this is just like, and he's on a chariot of water, right? Like you're going places and like your emotions are taking you to places that you've never been before. And I don't know if you've ever been, I don't know if you've ever like, you know, surfed or anything like that, but to like truly master that, like you have to fall a lot, you know what I mean? To truly master and be like the prince of the chariot of waters, right? Like I just think of a surfer who like just had to start surfing at the age of like 20 or something like that, right? Like we're at this place right now where like there's obviously this mastery, but it hasn't come easily, is like what I'm getting from it, you know, and like you're constantly having to face the shadow aspect of your emotions right now and really kind of like use them as a bridge, you know, use them as a way of understanding. And it's just crazy because he's like holding this chalice like in his left hand, but the chalice like has no water in it, you know what I mean? Like it's there and he has it, but it's not like really holding the water. Like he's having to literally like ride the waves of the water. So this is like preparing you to truly like have this internal self mastery, you know. And there's a bird over his head, like he's having to look at everything from a higher perspective while he's having to look at his like darkness right in the face. And you know, like he's got this lotus that like, you know, is showing that he's mastered it, but he's also still got this like mean mug having to face his like his inner demons. So I would say that like for you guys, this is all about kind of like balancing that, you know, scorpionic energy, really kind of balancing, because I'm seeing like the Scorpio sign twice and like the Libra sign. So it's like balancing those energies in a way that like you're taking wisdom from it, right? Like he is the king, right? Like this is like he was born to do this, but I'm pretty sure like with the look on his face, it's not been easy. And so like especially with Taurus, because like the energy of Taurus is so like it's so steadfast, you know, and like it can be extremely stubborn. So when things like this come up for a Taurus, it can be really easy to think that, you know, the way you've been doing things is the way that you can continue doing things. But with our emotions, it's like our emotions hold so much like spiritual potency and multidimensionality that you really have to assess where that what layer that's revealing to you, you know, and assess and see like, you know, is it more of a masculine approach that you need to take to this, or is it more of a feminine approach, you know? Do you need to contain something, or do you need to let something grow and like be wild? That's something that you guys are having to do. And with this month specifically, like January, it's just gonna be something that I can tell is gonna really take a lot of your attention. Like, this guy is focused. I don't know if you can see this, but he's focused, like looking at that snake in the eye. That snake is looking at him in the eye, but he's got his chalice, he's got his lotus, right? He's balancing his like masculine and feminine energies. He's got a bird over his head that's saying that he's like balancing out this scorpionic energy, right? While he's like on a chariot over water. And there's a bird that's beneath him too. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but so the word that comes to me is like emotional stability. And emotional stability is not always the easiest thing to obtain. It's not always the easiest lesson to learn. But if anyone were to do it, it would definitely be like the Taurus sun, moon, rising. So, love that message for you guys. Now I'm going to pull from the archetype oracle. So, we're at the last of our winter, well, not the last, but closing out the winter shadowy months, you know, especially, I mean, in Jacksonville right now, like, it's kind of hot right now. We're closing out those chapters, and we're really at the last stage of like internal cleansing. So I really wanted to, I actually like bought these archetype cards today specifically for this, because it's something that I've been dying to learn, and something that I really wanted to have available for you guys and for these readings. But archetypes, I feel, are like the next step in our spiritual evolution. We're so used to really staying in this masculine mindset and like this like completely physically focused, materially focused mindset. And with so many people developing like spiritually, you know, so many things opening up energetically for all of us, there's just this like, to me, there's this call to kind of like bring forth this archetypal energy, because archetypes can't be like, archetypes are something that are everywhere, yet they're so personalized and can mean so many different things to different people. So like I said, I'm just going to use these images to channel a message for you guys, and see how that adds on to your last King of Cups message. Alright, so what is the Taurus 2020 archetype that they are focusing on this month? January 2020 Taurus sun, moon, rising archetype. And I love how these all look like diamonds, like, because they really are. Like, archetypes are like these hidden gems. They're just great. Come on. What is a Taurus archetype? It'll be interesting too to see how this plays out like with my son. Because like even when like things like the eclipses happen, like we're having the eclipse coming up, like I can just see it, like it so affects him. Babies, my puppy, it just affects us all. So let's see. What archetypes do the Taurus need to pay attention to January 2020? Ooh, and of course, the card that comes out for you is the ocean. Oh my god, I love the ocean so much. I love the ocean so much. Like, one thing when I was like a kid, I knew when I got older, I was like, I have to live somewhere that's close to the ocean. Like, anytime my husband would try to mention moving to like somewhere like Texas, I'm like, nope, the ocean's not close enough, sorry. I know there's the ocean in Texas, but like not the kind of ocean that I want to go to, right? So, oh my god, this is just so beautiful. So the ocean is all about, oh, there's like a little butterfly. I love that. This picture, to me, what this is saying is like the ocean is so vast. It holds so much wisdom. And just like the King of Cups having to like, you know, constantly be pushed and pulled by the tides of the ocean, right? Like the King of Cups is like literally over a body of water, constantly having to like manage his emotions, constantly having to face his like, you know, the not so great aspects of emotion, right? Because one of the things about emotion is that it's coming from something so pure that sometimes it's very hard for us to understand why we're having the emotion, and it really does kind of like call for us to stop and to really like listen to the more subtle inner worlds, right? And like the ocean, nobody even knows like what's at the bottom of the ocean, right? Like nobody knows what's at the bottom of the ocean. Like it's crazy how much like wisdom the ocean probably holds. And at the same time, we're all so drawn to the ocean. Like the ocean magnetizes us to it. Like where do most people go for vacation? Like somewhere with a beach, right? Like where do you pay the most money to live? Somewhere near the beach. And it's because like not only do you get like a sense of renewal, like the ocean holds power, it attracts people to it. And there's just like this magnetism and this like really deep like Pisces energy that I'm getting from this, that you guys are kind of like in this place of a true like spiritual awakening, and like if you've had an awakening before, you know that there's not just one, like you get several, right? You have like your little dark nights of the soul, and then you have like your spiritual gifts that come in. And if you've not experienced that, like this is the month where you really have to take like all the craziness that comes to you, all the feelings that don't make sense to you, and really sit in a stillness and like observe that, right? Like what do most people come to the ocean do? They come to the ocean to observe it, just to watch it, right? Like listening to ocean meditation, like of the waves going back and forth, visualizing yourself at the beach. The ocean holds so much power and so much serenity, but it also can be very destructive. And I mean, like hurricanes, whatnot, right? Like I live in Florida, it's crazy. But I think for you guys, what this is it's a time of like truly spiritual awakening. And as a Taurus, it's like asking you to be more mutable and more flexible and to stay grounded, yet amidst all the emotion and amidst all of this like spiritual energy that's coming to you. And to me, truly, that like creates the perfect balance for like the type of spiritual energy for a spiritual awakening. Because when you have such a dynamic experience come into your life, if you've experienced it or not, it's something that's forever life changing. To be able to stay grounded amidst that, and to like have groundedness be your strength, is power. Like that's power. That's like taking that energy and directing it to wherever you want it to go. So to me, what this is saying is like, understand that with that King of Cups energy, there's an ability for you to take and alchemize that and put that magnetism in a direction that's going to lead you to where you want to go this month. Or it's going to lead you to an emotional state that you wish to hold, that you've possibly been seeking your whole life. When you get out of the mental and like the physical manifestation of things, to me what this is saying is like, this is asking you to go within and ask yourself like, and Tauruses are great with this, like they're all about pleasure, right? But it's asking yourself like, what's that next level of pleasure, of feeling, of emotion that you want to stabilize and ground here? And how can you take the chaos that's coming to you and turn it into that, right? Like what lesson is the chaos teaching you? And then how can you use that to magnetize yourself to the life that you want? So now let's draw a card from the spell deck. This is one of my favorite decks. Like I just got it today too, because I was like at Books A Million getting the other deck, and this deck was like, no, you can't leave without me. So I was like, okay. So Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, January 2020. What insights does the spell deck have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising in January 2020? Well, okay. Let's see. Over the moon. So, this card, it says, blend this love or attraction oil inspired by the celestial bodies on a Friday or full moon to honor worldwide goddesses of love. So it's just basically a little spell for you guys. There's essential oils that you put 1 ounce in an amber glass. So you're going to do 10 drops of sandalwood, 10 drops of Moroccan rose, 6 drops of benzoin, 5 drops of patchouli, 3 drops of vetiver, 3 drops French lavender, 3 drops vanilla, 1 drop honey, and then jojoba oil. I don't ever know if I'm pronouncing that right. But it just says in a 1 ounce amber glass or apothecary bottle, mix the essential oils and honey, close the bottle, shake, then fill with the jojoba oil to blend. Shake and apply as a perfume. Glow with the allure of the moon. I love that. I wonder if I should make it for my son. We shall see. So thank you so much for being a part of this January 2020 little reading for you guys. Hopefully it spoke to you. Like I said, take what resonates, release the rest, and then come back next month for your January 2020 reading. Thanks so much, guys.